Chapter 61. See you and beat you once. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Great Wilderness Demon Cudgel is comparable to the low-grade martial arts of the Xian rank. Entering the Great Wilderness Stick intent, the power is doubled, and the small success is 4 times the power, which directly surpasses Yuan Tao, who has learned a little bit of the sword in the White Moon Knife. Crack clap clap. Under Su Ba Xiaocheng's great desolate cudgel intent, the surging and sharp blade light covered with a hint of saber intent kept shattering. This is impossible, Yuan Tao shouted in disbelief, and in the next second, the great wilderness cudgel broke through the sharp knife light and descended on Yuan Tao. Puff 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 puff, Yuan Tao's mouth seemed to be equipped with a machine gun. He vomited blood and screamed, and the whole person flew out and fell heavily to a place more than 10 meters away. Yuan Tao, who seemed majestic and mighty before, was immediately beaten to death by Su Ba. Everyone was silent. The ending was already doomed as early as when Su Ba used his cunning intention to become a small success. Next second. Swish swish swish. Everyone's eyes suddenly turned to Su Ba in the center of the arena, with a look of awe in their eyes unconsciously. Too strong, even Yuan Tao, who is ranked 28th on the list of outstanding talents, is not the enemy of Su Ba. Su Ba's comprehension is too evil. The 4-star peak has grasped Xiaocheng's artistic conception. The Great Wilderness Demonic Stick is comparable to Xian-level martial arts. It is extremely difficult to understand the concept of artistic conception. Don't mention it, it's even more difficult to comprehend the mastery of martial arts from the beginning of the artistic conception to the entry level, let alone the entry level to the junior level. How long has it been since Su Ba came to the martial arts residence? Enchanting, a more enchanting character than senior sister Qin Zhuoyue. If this goes on like this, in the Inner Palace Grand Competition in 2 months' time, I'm afraid there will be a place for Su Ba in the top 10. Horrible. Listening to the whispers around, Su Ba's face was calm, and he strode to Yuan Tao, carrying his hands on his back, he said condescendingly. Now you know, who is the real overachiever. Yuan Tao stared at Su Ba, without saying a word, a trace of resentment flashed in the depths of his eyes. Seeing this, Su Ba narrowed his eyes, and his voice became cold and vain. Your eyes make me very uncomfortable. Let me tell you, don't let me see you in the future, or I will see you once and hit you once. You weak chicken, do you hear me? You. Yuan Tao's face turned blue and red, and he was trembling with anger. Oh, the weak chicken must have the consciousness of the weak chicken. If you have itchy skin, come and find me at any time. Su Ba sneered, kicked Yuan Tao aside, and strode out. Puff. Yuan Tao was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood again. He stared at Su Ba's leaving back, then struggled to get up. Maid. Today is a shame to throw it at my grandma's house. Su Ba, wait for me. The 2 main masters left, and the surrounding disciples also slowly dispersed. However, within a day of Su Ba, the news of picking 2 outstanding disciples in a row, it didn't take long for the news to spread throughout the inner palace. The inner palace shook in all directions. 3 days later, in a courtyard of a small building, Su Ba held the golden hoop stick and stood silently. Suddenly, he swayed slightly, zzz twice, as if there was an electric light sounding in the air. Su Ba's figure came 20 meters away like lightning, but a Su Ba appeared out of thin air where he was standing. Chapter 62. Su Ba's Fierce Name. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zzz. The electric light sounded again. Su Ba moved quickly and came to a place 20 meters away again. The first phantom disappeared and appeared where Su Ba was standing just now, and the amazing thing is that if Su Ba waved the golden hoop stick in place, the other Su Ba also moved as if consciously. If ordinary people are here, they can't tell which one is the real Su Ba. A long time, Su Ba breathed a sigh of relief. The phantom disappeared, put the golden hoop behind his back again, and shook his head slightly. 3 days, this thunderlight illusory movement is just enough to get started, but the progress is a bit slow. If other inner palace disciples heard this, they would have to vomit blood collectively. Thunderlight illusory movement is a high-grade Xuanhuan movement technique. Even if a genius disciple with good understanding comes to understand it, it will take at least a month to be able to get started. Ordinary disciples don't know if they have any clues in 3 months. Suba has been getting started in 3 days, still not satisfied. Is this what people say? 3 days, the Dankai de Quan is thick, but I recovered hundreds of low-grade true essence stones that my cheap master gave me, and drew a lot of soul power through a lottery. Suba nodded and muttered to himself. Because a lot of comprehension points, strength points and other attributes have also been drawn, the strength has now reached 28,200 genes, which is close to the power of the 3 elephants. The Great Wilderness Stick Intention has also successfully comprehended the Deshang realm, and the remaining enhancement points have also been upgraded by 1 level, which is not bad. When he opened the properties panel, Suba took a look. Host, Suba, Cultivation Realm, 5-star early stage, plus, cultivation method, Zhuyang Divine Art, 5/720, plus. Weapon, Rui Gold Hoop Bar, Martial Skills, Human level high quality The Great Wilderness Demon Cudgel, Xian level high quality Thunderlight Illusory Movement, Artistic Conception, Great Wilderness Stick, Deshang, Talent, Mastery of Pill Dao, increase the rate of pill success by 50%, the number of pills by 50%, and the quality of pills by 50%. Enhancement point, 70 points, lottery draw, 100 points of reinforcement, you can have a lottery draw. Storage space, 1 cubic meter, plus. The strength has improved a lot. Should I find trouble with the people on the top list, or should I go to the cheap master to learn alchemy first? Suba pondered slightly, at this moment. The gate to the yard was opened, and his handyman walked in with a white bag in his hand. After he approached, he respectfully handed the white bag to Suba with both hands. This is. Senior Brother Su, this is the monthly salary of the disciples of the Inner Palace. Please take a look. The servant respectfully said. The salary of the Inner Palace disciple. Suba raised his brows. Didn't someone come to the door to distribute this? The servants hesitated. Speak. Suba said solemnly. Yes. The handyman's body was shocked, and he said quickly, Senior Brother Su, the senior brother who gave out the salary of the disciples of the Inner Palace. After hearing your name, his expression changed, and he couldn't survive. He seemed to be shouting the words of a murderer. Suba. The handyman was hesitant to speak, his eyes were filled with awe and admiration. It is said that the Suba in front of him is a murderer and a demon, who acts unscrupulously, is arrogant and domineering, does whatever he wants but is strong and powerful. As soon as he entered the Inner Palace, he beat Lu Niu, who was ranked 33rd on the list of outstanding people. Afterwards, I went to the Gongwu Pavilion to pick a martial arts skill. I met Yuan Tao, who was ranked 28th on the list of outstanding talents, and put Yuan Tao down. The genius disciples in the Inner Palace are all in danger now, and those with lower rankings don't dare to wander in the Inner Palace, either going out to do tasks or training, for fear of being caught by a murderer like Suba. Being a man and doing Suba's job is also the only one. Chapter 63 Elder Who with a wide-eyed smile. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shaking his head, Suba took the white bag, opened it, and raised his eyebrows, seeming a little surprised. Why are you earning so much salary? Isn't the Inner Palace disciple only 50 low-grade true essence stones a month? Seeing the doubts on Suba's face, the handyman quickly explained. Reporting to Senior Brother Su, this is the case with ordinary Inner Palace disciples, but the salaries of the disciples on the list of outstanding people are much higher than that of ordinary Inner Palace disciples. The higher the ranking, the more salary. It is said that Senior Brother Wen Tianyu, who is number 1 on the list of outstanding talents, has a monthly salary of 200 low-grade true essence stones. Speaking of which, a group of chores looked envious. They only served 1 or 2 low-grade true essence stones a month as coolies to serve the genius disciples of the Inner Palace. I see, the stronger the strength, the more resources. It is understandable that Yunmeng Wufu did this to improve the enthusiasm and competitiveness of its disciples. The disciples on the list of outstanding talents are not only a symbol of face and honor, but also a symbol of strength and a symbol of abundant resources. Su Ba touched his nose and understood. Oh, right. The handyman suddenly thought of something, looked at Su Ba and said in a low voice. Just now at the door, I met the senior brother of the contribution hall. He said that this month is coming to the end of the month. Although you have just entered the inner palace, senior brother Su, you still have to complete the monthly inner palace task. If it exceeds the limit, the salary for the next month may be deducted. Contribution hall. Do inner government tasks. Su Ba was slightly startled, then remembered, it is stated in the jade slip that the disciples of Yunmeng Nifa need to complete a task every month. There are many kinds of tasks, such as eliminating demons, eradicating evil, collecting, cleaning and so on. This can also be regarded as a kind of trial for the disciples in the house. Okay, I see. Su Ba nodded and waved off the handyman. If that's the case, then go to the Pill Pavilion to learn some alchemy techniques from Elder Hu, learn early and consolidate it, and then go to take the task out. Su Ba goes out. On the way to the Pill Pavilion, the faces of the people he met changed slightly when they saw him, and they all flashed aside, as if they saw something terrible. In my ears, exclamations of "I rely on the murderer and the murderer is here" can be heard from time to time. Su Ba was speechless after hearing this. Dan Pavilion Hall. Good boy, in 3 days, the Dankai de Quan has been memorized thoroughly, and the soul power talent beyond the 9th grade is really extraordinary. Hu Dan Qin, dressed in a white robe, looked like a fairy, and looked at Su Ba Dao in front of him with a wide-eyed smile. The stronger the soul power, the better the memory, this elder who still knows. The cultivation base has also broken through to the early 5-star stage, not bad. Seeing this, Elder Hu's old face turned into an old chrysanthemum. It seems that this disciple has a good talent for cultivation. In the future, he is very hopeful to become the first 10th grade alchemist in Fengwu Kingdom to refine 10th grade medicinal herbs. If you want to refine a 10th grade medicinal pill, you must cultivate the day after tomorrow, and your soul power talent must reach the 9th grade. An elder who was devoted to alchemy, and he didn't hear anything outside the window. Therefore, he still didn't know the big thing that Su Ba made a few days ago. At this time, seeing that Su Ba was so powerful, Elder Hu was kind to Su Ba. Good apprentice, you are here to learn alchemy for your teacher, right? You are a natural alchemist with a talent like yours. Come, I will teach you as a teacher. Elder Hu smiled and led Su Ba to the alchemy room next door. After closing the door of the alchemy room, Elder Hu looked at Su Ba and said, "Before alchemy, let me tell you some things that you need to pay attention to in alchemy, you remember clearly." Chapter 64 Alchemy for the first time, the ignorant Elder Hu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before alchemy, you need to prepare 3 things, that is, the pill furnace, materials, and pill fire. The first is the pill furnace. The pill furnace is an important tool for alchemists. The better the quality of the pill furnace, the influence on the pills cannot be ignored, such as. Elder Hu pointed to a square cauldron in front of him with a height of half a person, and said proudly, "This is a high-grade elixir furnace of the master's profound rank, a Riqian furnace. The grade can be called the first pill furnace in Fengwu Kingdom. It can increase the success rate of pills for teachers by 10%, which is not awesome. Crazy." Su Ba nodded in agreement, but it was a little funny in his heart. This elder who looked at this pill furnace like a baby, but it only increased the pill success rate by 10%. He was proficient in the way of pills, and one of them directly increased the pill success rate by 50%. Don't tell me, don't scare this cheap master to death. And this material, the older the medicinal materials used to refine the medicinal herbs, or the higher the blood grade of other monsters, the greater the impact on the medicinal power fusion degree of the medicinal herbs after they become pills. As for the pill fire, the same is true. The higher the pill fire quality, the stronger the ability to remove impurities, which has a certain impact on the rate of the pill and the fusion of the medicinal power of the pill. Pill fire can be divided into ordinary fire, earth fire, and abnormal fire according to the quality. Elder Hu talked eloquently, and Su Ba listened very seriously. After all, it was something related to money, a long time. I finished these basics, do you remember? Elder who looked at Su Ba expectantly, thinking that he was very confident in Su Ba's memory. I remember clearly. Su Ba nodded lightly. Well, Elder who grinned, that's fine, then I'll show you a demonstration for the teacher to refine the most basic first-grade medicinal pills. You can experience it with your heart. Tempering alchemy is the most basic of the first-grade alchemy. It is used to polish the body of children. Refining this simple alchemy is a piece of cake for Elder Hu, a 8th-grade alchemist. In a short while, the top of the Ritian stove in front of him, there was a curling medicinal fragrance. When the time was right, Elder Hu opened the lid of the furnace, only to see 10 pale red, marble-sized round pills appearing in front of Su Ba. 10 pills, the fusion degree of medicinal power is 83%. Seeing this, Elder Hu nodded with a little satisfaction, and pretended to sigh, oh, I haven't made this thing for a long time, and I'm a little unfamiliar. In the past, this kind of low-level medicinal herbs could be made into 13 or 4 pills in one pot, and the medicinal powers are integrated. 90% or more is not a problem at all. In front of his proud disciples, Elder Hu couldn't help but want to show his style. Of course, Su Ba also showed an expression of amazement to the face. Seeing that, Elder Hu was in a good mood and said with a smile, okay, good apprentice, now it's your turn, don't worry, if you forget any steps, the teacher will guide you on the side. Su Ba responded and exchanged places with Elder Hu. $3 of Tianq Xingguo, first-class alien blood, $1 of inkstone powder. Seeing that Su Ba put the materials for refining and quenching the pill into the pill furnace in one step, Elder Hu showed a satisfied look on his face, and he pointed it out. Good disciple, control the temperature of the fire well, the soul power will radiate out, feel the changes in the medicinal power with your heart, don't be impatient. Once the impatient soul power fluctuates, it is easy to control it poorly, it will destroy the whole pot of pills, and even explode. Generally speaking, it is normal for newcomers to fail for the first time in alchemy. Just got here, a wisp of strong medicinal fragrance wafted out from the roof of the Ritian furnace. Have become a pill? Elder Hu's eyelids twitched, feeling a little dazed. Chapter 65, Is alchemy like this a human thing? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Probably. If Su Ba's soul power perception is correct, through the pill furnace, he has seen some round pills. Without thinking about it, Su Ba opened the stove top. The situation at the bottom of the pill furnace was immediately reflected in front of the two of them. Elder Hu looked at the pale red medicinal pills at the bottom of the stove, his eyes rounded directly, and he exclaimed. Wipe, 15 Qingdan, the fusion degree of medicinal power. 90%. My God! A top-grade elixir of the same rank that surpasses 90% fusion degree. Elder Hu's voice was about to change. He turned his head abruptly, his facial expression was very exciting, looking at Su Ba was like seeing a dead pervert. Shocked, stunned, unbelievable, the expressions vary. This kid, the first time he made alchemy, actually surpassed his best record of refining alchemy. Even if you practice dozens of times seriously now, it is estimated that it may not be better than Su Ba. Not to mention other people, the average person concocts 5 pills at a time, and the fusion degree of medicinal power reaches 60%, which is good enough. Thinking of his first time concocting pills, frying the furnace several times in a row, and finally concocting 2 pills in one pot, the spicy chicken pill with only 30% of the medicinal power was praised by his master for his outstanding talent. Now that I think about it, Elder Hu's face is a little embarrassed. This is because he has excellent talent. So what is Su Ba? Damn. Definitely a natural super alchemist. Elder Hu was so excited, that he almost screamed. Good disciple, hurry up, try again a few times. Elder Hu resisted his excitement and let Su Ba continue to make a few furnaces of tempering pills. It doesn't matter to Su Ba either, if it was the first time, he was still a little rusty. Then with the experience, with the cooperation of the powerful soul force, his talent for mastering the way of alchemy was fully brought into play by him. The second pot. 16 pills, the fusion degree of medicinal power is 95%. The third pot. 18 Qingdan, the fusion degree of medicinal power is 94%. The fourth furnace. 18 Qingdan, the fusion degree of medicinal power is 96%. The fifth furnace. 17 pills, the fusion degree of medicinal power is 97, elder who is dumbfounded, if you say it once, it may be luck or something, but several times in a row, each time it exceeds 15 Qingdan, and the fusion degree of medicinal power exceeds 90%, or even more than 95%, this is not luck. This is strength, squat. Even in the middle of the way, elder who was still thinking, how could this kid not fail? Why don't you fail? Is this kind of alchemy something done by humans? He's going crazy. The eighth furnace, the ninth furnace. Alright, Su Ba, you go back first, let me wait a few days, I want to be quiet. When Su Ba was about to refine the 10th furnace, elder who waved weakly and motioned Su Ba to go back, seeing elder who's dejected look, Su Ba touched his nose and felt that he was a little too good, making this elder who is known as the #1 alchemist in Fengwu Kingdom, hit hard. After bowing to elder who, Su Ba turned around and walked out of the alchemy room. Not long after he walked out, Su Ba heard a burst of shocking laughter from the alchemy room. Ha ha ha, in the future, the 3 kingdoms in the eastern region, no, the most outstanding alchemists in the 18 eastern regions must have been born under the hands of this old man, ha 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 ha. The laughter was so loud that even the entire Dan Pavilion could hear it. All the Pill Pavilion disciples looked at each other. I thought to myself, is it possible that elder who has lost his mind? It's over, it's over. Chapter 66 Su's children, the family is alarmed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Contribution Hall is not far from Dan Pavilion. Under the eyes of a group of people on the road, Su Ba walked to the door of the Contribution Hall with a dark face, just about to go in. Su. Senior brother Su Ba. Beside, a weak voice shouted, hey, I rely on. It's not easy, finally someone is not afraid of me. Su Ba's eyes lit up, and he turned to look at the person who was approaching. A smile appeared on his stern face, and said, hello, may I ask who you are? Standing in front of Su Ba was a man and a woman. The tall and handsome man spoke first. Senior brother Su Ba, let me introduce myself. I'm Su Huihe, and this is my sister Su Wanling. The handsome young man said, pointed to the beautiful girl beside him and introduced. Hello, senior brother Su Ba. Su Wanling greeted timidly, looking at Su Ba's kind smile. I always felt that Su Ba was not as brutal as the legends, Su Huihe, Su Wanling. Su Ba's heart moved, could it be a child of the Su family? Immediately, Su Ba asked, are you the children of the Su family in Fengwu City? That the Su family where Su Ba belongs, although it is not a big family in Fengwu City, is of a good scale. It has accumulated a lot of background in business for several generations. There are still a few talented direct descendants from the family who have entered the Yunmeng Inner Palace, but Su Ba and the others are collateral, and they don't get much attention from the family. Basically, they don't have much contact with the family's direct descendants, so Su Ba doesn't know them either. However, what Su Huihe said next confirmed Su Ba's thoughts. Yes, we are the Su family from Fengwu City. Oh, so it's a family. The smile on Su Ba's face increased a bit. Then you don't need to call me senior brother, you are older than me, just call me clan brother. No, let's call you senior brother Su Ba. Su Huihe and Su Wanling were a little flattered. The man in front of him had a fierce reputation, and he was also a master who ranked 28 on the list of outstanding people. Although they were indeed bigger than Su Ba and the family, they were different in Wufu. They were only at the level of ordinary inner palace disciples, so how dared they be big in front of Su Ba? Seeing this, Su Ba laughed and didn't force it. Hee, what's the matter with you? If it's all right, I'll go to the contribution hall to lead the mission. It's not really a big deal. Su Huihe paused as he spoke, and then looked at Su Badeo with admiration. Senior brother Su Ba, we also only found out yesterday that the murderer who just entered the inner palace and even picked the top experts, oh no, the genius is you. Now, senior brother Su Ba, your record has been passed on to the family." The patriarch was completely shocked. Not long ago, he met brother Su Ba's parents in person, gave the grocery store to his uncle and aunt, and gave him a lot of things, saying that he was grateful to his uncle and aunt for giving birth to such a talented child. At that time, senior brother Su Ba, "If you go back to the clan leader will bring the whole clan to hold a grand banquet for you." "That's right." On one side, the little beauty Su Wanling nodded her head like a chicken pecking at rice, and her beautiful eyes looked at Su Ba with an expression of admiration. Born in a collateral line, without any resources, it is really amazing to reach the position of the top talent list. Moreover, although senior brother Su Ba has only just reached adulthood, his whole body is full of the charisma of a man who is determined and strong, and has a reassuring aura, so charming. Su Wanling thought about it, her face flushed slightly, and she lowered her head unconsciously. Chapter 67 The mysterious old man in black enters the Pill Pavilion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After listening to Su Huiha's words, Su Ba was slightly startled. "Our parents, how old is this term?" In the previous life, Su Ba's parents died early. For more than 20 years, he spent it alone, so after Su Ba crossed over, he didn't care too much, but now, once Su Huiha mentioned it, the feeling of blood thicker than water in his bones overflowed unconsciously. After all, he took over the Su Ba of this world, and the parents of Su Ba are his parents. In this life, Su Ba's parents, for Su Ba's ability to practice martial arts well, get up early in the morning and devote themselves to the dark, live frugally, and basically give him the money they earn every month. It's a pity that the original Su Ba didn't live up to his expectations. He was fascinated by a coquettish fox. Poor parents in the world. Either way, accepting the Su Ba of this life can make the parents of this life have a stable life. It can be regarded as compensation for Su Ba for taking the original body. Thinking of this, Su Ba felt a faint sense of satisfaction in his heart. "Okay, then thank the clan brothers. The clan sisters told me, I will enter the contribution hall if I have nothing to do." Returning to his senses, Su Ba folded his fists towards the two of them, then turned around and entered the contribution hall. Senior brother Su Ba is also very kind. "Whoever said nonsense, he is a murderer, isn't he, sister?" Su Huiha touched his chin and muttered, turning his head to look. He found that his little sister was staring at Su Ba's back, her brows raised, and she said, "Sister, didn't you become fascinated by senior brother Su Ba so quickly?" "Ah." "What?" "Ah." "Brother, what did you say?" Su Wanling suddenly blushed, and if she refused, she would hit Su Huiha with her fists. "Brother, you kind of get run away." "Ahaha, I'm so embarrassed by what I said." "Damn. I'll stop." While Su Wanling and Su Huiha were fighting, Su Ba was already in the contribution hall, quickly scanning the various tasks displayed on the task panel. Clean up the inner palace Yanwatang for a week. Task reward, 3. Contribute to the Wufu. In addition to the demons, there are several 4th-level alien beasts in the eastern suburbs of Fenwu City that are harming the people. Go to eliminate them. Task reward, 10 points of contribution to Wufu. Destroy evil. Around Fenwu City, a wave of gangsters appeared and went to destroy them. Mission reward, 20 points of contribution to Wufu. Most of the tasks are simple tasks that take a lot of time, but the rewards are still good. Wufu contribution degree can be used to exchange things, and even the worst Wufu contribution can be exchanged for a low-grade true essence stone. If you have enough contribution, you can even get a good quality medicine pill. Therefore, if the disciples in the inner palace were more diligent and did more tasks, the resources would be considerable. However, these rewards are very tasteless to Su Ba. If it weren't for the fact that Nifa disciples were forced to complete a mission every month, he probably wouldn't come. Since he had to do one mission, Su Ba had to choose the one that would be most beneficial to him. There is. Suddenly, Su Ba's eyes lit up and saw a mission that just came out. Collection, 10 years of jingling flowers. Note, jingling flowers are near Yinwu Mountain. The difficulty factor is relatively high, and the strength of the 5-star peak is below, so do what you can. Quest reward, 50 points of Wufu contribution. The difficulty factor here is relatively high. First, it means that it is a bit dangerous. Second, it is difficult to find a 100-year-old jingling flower, which is very time-consuming. But for Su Ba, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there are also alien beasts in Yinwu Mountain, so he should go to experience and increase his strength. The quest is only incidental, and the quest reward is not bad. At the moment, Su Ba directly accepted the task without hesitation, and immediately set off, swiftly swept towards Yinwu Mountain. This time. Yunmeng Inner Palace, there was an unusually tall, yellow-haired old man in black with no anger, holding a red iron stick in his hand, and walked into the Pill Pavilion aggressively. Chapter 68, You son of a bitch, you robbed Laozi's apprentice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man in black had a purple waist tag hanging around his waist. In Yunmeng Wufu, outer palace disciples have white waist cards, inner palace disciples have blue waist cards, core disciples have blue waist cards, and elder-level characters have purple waist cards. This person is an elder-level figure. At this time, the black-clothed old man was expressionless as he strode into the Pill Pavilion Great Hall aggressively. Elder Shao. Elder Shao. Hello, Elder Shao. That when the passing Pill Pavilion disciples saw this person, their expressions changed slightly, and they hurriedly stopped to greet him respectfully. The black-clothed old man didn't pay attention, directly ignoring the greetings from Zhou, and when he came to the Pill Pavilion Hall, the door of a luxurious alchemy room suddenly stopped. A loud roar resounded throughout the Pill Pavilion. Hu Danqing, you son-in-law, come out for Lao Tzu. The roar was earth-shattering, accompanied by a terrifying momentum, and even the Pill Pavilion seemed to shake a few times in an instant. Everyone trembled instantly, their faces turned pale, and they looked at each other. What happened to this Elder Shao? Why did he make such a big fire? What did he do to Elder Hu? What's wrong with Elder Hu? Next second, the door of the luxurious alchemist was kicked open, and an old man wearing a white robe with a clear face rushed out angrily, watching the old man in black and cursing. I'll go to your sister, Xiao Bang old thing, I'm refining a pot of 8th grade blood lotus pill. When you yelled, it blew up the pot directly. I'll wipe it. Are you sick? I'm fine. The Dan Pavilion is here to show its prestige. 8th rank blood lotus pill. Just the material, Hu Danqing has collected for a long time, and the value is precious. It is enough to fry the stove by himself, and it is unbearable to be affected by the frying stove. At the peak of the Hotian realm, Yunmeng Wufu's #1 master, it's amazing, you can make a fool of yourself, right? Actually came to my Dan Pavilion to make trouble. Crap, old man, I'm going crazy, I'm afraid of myself. I'm fine. I'm fine, you. Uncle. Xiao Bao looked at Hu Danqing coldly, and said, Hu Danqing, you are very sculpted. Even Lao Tzu's apprentice dares to grab it. Believe it or not, Lao Tzu will smash your Pill Pavilion with one stick. Xiao Bao, don't spray me with blood. Hu Danqing's beard is sloppy, this old man is devoted to alchemy, who cares about the disciples who practice martial arts in Wufu? You have to find other elders. Oh, how dare you pretend to be garlic? Xiao Bao's face was gloomy, with blue veins on his forehead, and gritted his teeth. Hu Danqing, don't tell me, a few days ago, you didn't accept the next disciple. A few days ago, you mean? Hu Danqing's expression changed. Remember? Xiao Bao sneered, wipe. Unexpectedly, Hu Danqing immediately turned black and exasperated. Good old man, you dare to pay attention to my good apprentice, tell you, he is a natural alchemist, you want to rob someone, there is no door. Fuck you 18 ancestors serial farts. Still a born alchemist. Pooh. He is a natural martial artist, and his aptitude is even better than Qin Jiuyue. In the next 10 years, he is very likely to hit the super powerhouse of the Xiantian realm. Xiao Bao's hair stood on end, and he glared at him and said coldly, you son of a bitch, you actually let the #1 powerhouse of Fengwu Kingdom in the future run over to make alchemy with you, and his heart can be punished. The people around Dan Pavilion are stunned. I go. Two well-known elders from Yunmeng Wufu seem to have a conflict because of a disciple in the inner palace. Which disciple is so arrogant? A natural alchemist? A natural warrior? In the next 10 years, it will be able to hit the legendary innate realm. Sky. It's so scary. Chapter 69 The Confrontation Between the Two Elders. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The veins on Xiao Bang's forehead exploded, his hands clenched fists and creaked, and looking at Hu Danqing's eyes, it was like a terrifying beast waiting to be eaten. This kid Su Ba was handpicked by the palace master to Lao Tzu. After waiting for 3 days, Lao Tzu still wondered why he didn't come to apprentice. When I asked about it, why did he actually apprentice under you, a turtle grandson? Good guy, Hu Danqing, you're bold, aren't you, eh? No one has ever dared to snatch food under Lao Tzu's hands. Cece. As soon as Xiao Bao finished speaking, he suddenly let out a burst of exclamations. It turned out to be him, Su Ba. No wonder, it's that enchanting murderer. Unexpectedly, this murderer has such a high talent for alchemy, and even a person like Elder who is usually tepid, is out of his temper, that everyone suddenly realized. That Hu Danqing frowned and looked at the others. You all know Su Ba. Yes, Elder Hu. One of the disciples relied on courage and said respectfully. It is said that this Su Ba 4-star peak was specially recruited into the inner palace, and just after entering the inner palace, he defeated Lun Yo, who was ranked 33rd on the list of outstanding people. Then on the same day, when I went to the Gongwu Pavilion to select martial arts, I met Yuan Tao, who was ranked 28th on the list of outstanding people, and made Yuan Tao into a dead dog with one stick. Now he can be said to be fierce and powerful in the inner palace, not to mention the other inner palace disciples. Even some of the outstanding disciples are going around Su Ba. What? When Elder Hu heard this, he was shocked. Kill the 33rd person on the list with one punch, and kill the 28th on the list with one stick. Some of the outstanding disciples are still walking around Su Ba. So strong. Elder Hu is also aware of the gold content of the Renji list in the inner palace. Those who can make it to the list are all the most powerful people in the entire Yunmeng inner palace. As soon as Su Ba entered the inner palace, he was able to kill the talented disciple of the Renji list. This martial arts talent is unimaginable. The surnamed Hu, now you know it, I suspect that he is the son of Tianwu. The son of true destiny who was born to practice martial arts. Xiao Bao took the chatterbox with a sneer, looked at Hu Danqing and said coldly, do you know what Su Ba, as this year's freshman, just entered Yunmeng Wufu? 1-star mid-term. But in just 1 month, it broke through to the top of Samsung. Afterwards, he had an epiphany and directly broke through the 4-star peak. Do you know how elusive an epiphany is for a warrior? Not to mention, an epiphany, breaking through a big realm. I have grown so big, I have never heard of anyone who is so perverted. Xiao Bang was talking, and suddenly jumped up. Mad, Hu Danqing, you are an alchemist, you are a mere 8-star master, what qualifications do you have to be Su Ba's master? Su Ba and you alchemy, you are a waste. At the peak of Samsung, he realized the martial arts artistic conception that is comparable to the low-grade Xuanhuan martial arts, the Great Wilderness Demon Cudgel, the Great Wilderness Stick. And when he defeated Yuan Tao, it was Xiaocheng's great desolate cunning intention. Groove, such a genius. Only Lao Tzu, who is the strongest in Yunmeng Wufu, is qualified to teach him, not to mention that Lao Tzu also uses a stick, so he is definitely a good apprentice bestowed by God. Fart. Elder Hu uttered foul language directly, his face as black as the bottom of a pot, and said coldly, the surname is Xiao, Su Ba's martial arts talent is so good, I really didn't expect it. However, his talent in alchemy is something that I have never seen before, not to mention the soul power surpassing the 9th grade. The first time he made pills, he broke the old man's record for refining pills of the same level in his life. Over time, under the cultivation of the first 8th rank alchemist of the Fengwu Kingdom, Su Ba will not only dominate the alchemy world of the 3 kingdoms in the eastern region, but also dominate the alchemy world of the 18 eastern regions. Also, Su Ba came to apprentice on his own initiative, and now I am his master. The surname is Shao. Hurry up, Dan Pavilion does not welcome you. Elder who coldly issued an expulsion order. Chapter 70 The Palace Master is here. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You drive me away. Xiao Bao brows upside down, awe-inspiring. A terrifying aura burst out from his body instantly, and the entire Dan Pavilion hall creaked. The faces of the Pill Pavilion disciples who were watching on the side changed drastically, and they felt that the pressure on their bodies suddenly increased, and their bones were about to be broken. Hu Danqing's expression changed, and he shouted at Xiao abruptly. The surname is Xiao, you really dare not do it. If you make trouble with the palace master, even you, there is no good fruit to eat. You ask that kid to worship me as a teacher, and I'll leave, Xiao Bao said with an expressionless face. You are dreaming. Hu Danqing blurted out. Okay. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being rude. Xiao Bang's eyes flashed a sharp light, and the violent aura all over his body rose sharply again, and the terrifying aura of the acquired peak swept the 4 directions. Bang 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 bang. There were many disciples with insufficient cultivation, who were overwhelmed and kneeled on the ground on the spot, their faces pale. Slot, it's over, Elder Xiao is going to go crazy. Ah, will the Pill Pavilion be demolished? Elder Xiao's temper is bursting, no one can stop him, there was panic all over, exclaiming again and again. Okay, Elder Xiao, don't be impatient, just as Xiao Bao was about to dismantle the Pill Pavilion, an ethereal voice came from a distance, then. Everyone only felt a flash in front of them, and a tall and slender figure appeared leisurely in front of everyone, wearing a white shirt and a gentleman's sword. He is graceful. President. It's the Palace Master. The Palace Master is here, it's great, it's saved. When everyone saw this person, they suddenly breathed a sigh of relief, and a look of joy appeared on their faces. Palace Master, you came just in time. The disciple you recommended to me was tricked into becoming an apprentice by this surnamed Hu. If I didn't give it to me, Palace Master, you will judge it for me. When Xiao Bao saw the person coming, he immediately said with a displeased face, regarding Xiao Bao's fiery temper, the palace lord was also helpless, not caring about his rudeness, and smiled lightly. Everyone is in the same class, don't hurt the peace, Elder Xiao. Su Ba is the one I recommended to you, but he chose Elder Hu, which also surprised me. What amazes me even more is that this Su Ba has such talent in alchemy. I have heard what you just said, that's it. Su Ba just took the mission of the inner palace and went out. When he comes back, let him make his own decision. Palace Master, this is not right. Su Ba has already worshipped me as his teacher, how can anyone else have a share of the pie? Elder whose face was a little ugly. Okay. That's it, Su Ba didn't see how powerful Lao Tzu was. If he knew, he would still worship you as a teacher. Compared with alchemy, martial arts is his final return. Xiao Bao snorted coldly, glared at Elder Hu, and then walked away. You, Elder Hu looked at Xiao Bao's back with anger, but he also knew the difficulty of the Palace Master, and he pleaded guilty to the Palace Master, and turned around and entered the alchemy room with a sullen face. The Palace Master's eyes flickered, and then his figure flashed, and he disappeared in the Pill Pavilion. As soon as the big men left, the pressure on the Pill Pavilion disciples was greatly reduced. They looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. This Su Ba is too strong. One person dispatched the 3 most influential people in the whole government. The gap between people is really incomparable. And this time, Su Ba, who was on the road to Yunwu Mountain, naturally did not expect that his small act of apprenticeship would cause such a big wave.